Hello, all. Devika here. Hope you're all doing great. Keep going, keep learning. Today, let's dive into another PYQ session of GATE with a focus on Indian literature. Let's get started. Question number 1. Which of these is not an autobiography? Baby Kampal, The Prisons We Broke, Bama Karukar, Mulk Raj Anand's Untouchable, Om Prakash Valmiki, Judith. The question is a little tricky because all these works expose the brutality of caste discrimination and is a part of Dalit literature. However, yes, Mulk Raj Anand's Untouchable is not an autobiography. We know he has written a detailed autobiographical series covering different phases of his life. It includes Seven Summers, Morning Face, Confessions of a Lover. And coming to the option in detail, The Untouchable, it was published in 1935. Of course, the genre, it's not an autobiography, it's a social realistic novel, which includes the theme of caste discrimination and social injustice. And coming to the plot of the novel, it follows the protagonist Phaka. He's a young untouchable Dalit boy. He works as a sweeper in a small town in British India. The story happens over just a single day, and it highlights the humiliation and discrimination he faces due to his caste. And this work was one of the first Indian English novels to expose caste oppression. And another key point to be noted is that the later editions carried a foreword written by E. M. Forster. Some other works of him include Coolie, published in 1936, then Two Leaves and a Bud, published in 1937. Along with these two works and Untouchable, all these works share common themes of social injustice, oppression, and exploitation within the colonial and caste-ridden Indian society. Next, question number 2. Chitra Divakaruni's The Mistress of Spices is an experiment in magic realism, about immigrant experience, a science fiction, an epistolary novel. Yes, the answer is 1 and 2. The work Mistress of Spices was published in the year 1997. Friends, it was a fantastic year for literature for so many reasons. Yeah, first being I was born in 1997, but other than that, we have Harvest by Manjula Padmanabhan's work getting published. The God of Small Things, novel written by our own Arundhati Roy, which won the Booker Prize in the same year. And lot many. If you know other works published in 1997, do comment. Let's see. Coming to the genre, it's a feminist fiction with magic realism. Talking about the setting, it's set primarily in Oakland, California, with flashbacks to India. And from the question, we get to know that it has identity, immigration, feminism, magic, love, and cultural conflict as part of its themes. The novel, it's about a mystical woman. Her name is Tilotama. She's trained in the ancient art of spices, and she runs a small spice shop in Oakland, California, and it revolves around her life. Moving on to some other works of Chitra is The Palace of Illusions, published in 2008. It's a reimagining of the Mahabharata from the perspective of Draupadi, often called Panjali. Then another work is The Forest of Enchantments, 2019. It's a feminist retelling of the Ramayana from Sita's perspective. And let me give you one more work, Independence, 2022. It's a tale of 3 sisters in Bengal during the violent partition of India in 1947. Moving on to the third question. The name is H. Hatter, and I'm continuing. Biologically, I'm 55 of the species. The lines above are from an early Indian English novel. Who is the author of this novel? Options: G.V. Deshani, Alan Seeley, Toru Dutt, Ruth Pravar Jabala. Yes, from the question itself, they've given you a hint. The name is H. Hatter. So it's obvious that it's from the work of G.V. Deshani's All About H. Hatter, published in 1948. This work is a modern fiction with elements of satire and experimental prose. The main character, H. Hatter, is an Anglo-Indian orphan. He sets out on a philosophical and comic journey across India in search of wisdom. This work has inspired Indian English fiction with its experimental storytelling and linguistic playfulness. That is, in this work, we can see he has used a mix of English, Indian dialects, slang, neologisms, and literary influences. This kind of linguistic innovation and identity play used in this work by G.V. Deshani, it has influenced later writers like Salman Rushdie, especially in Midnight Children. Fourth question. Which of the following novel is or are predominantly set in Bombay? Kiran Nagarkar, Ravan and Eddie, Rohinton Mystery, A Fine Balance, Salman Rushdie, Midnight Children, Aravind Adiga, The White Tiger. The answer is all the three except Aravind Adiga's The White Tiger. The White Tiger published in 2008 and it won the 40th Booker Prize. And friends, we do have a movie under the same name starring Priyanka Chopra. I hope through the visuals you can see Bihar, Delhi, Bangalore, but not Bombay, huh? And Mystery's work, even though it does not explicitly name the city, but it gives key clues such as its coastal locations, Parsi community, textile industry, and political atmosphere. It strongly suggests that it is Bombay, and in the Gates key, they have given or added this novel as well. Coming to Ravan and Eddie, from the name itself, it suggests that it's about these two boys or these two people. Ravan, he's a Hindu, and Eddie, he's a Catholic. They grow up in a Mumbai Chawla crowded tenement, and the novel follows these two poor boys, and it's a coming of an age novel. Then comes A Fine Balance. It's a tragic novel. It's set during Indira Gandhi's emergency rule, 1975 to 77 in India. Of course, it's in India. And it talks about four strangers, namely Deena, Ishwar, Om Prakash, and Manik. This work, it forces readers to confront India's harsh realities, while it admires human resilience. And finally comes the most famous Midnight Children. I guess we all know it's about Salim Sinai. He was born at the exact moment India gained independence, August 15, 1947, at midnight in Bombay. This person was born in Bombay. The fifth question, the last one, it's a match the following with the genre or the style. We have works like Haivadana, Harvest coming again, Khashiram Kotwal, and Evam Indrajit. These are the answers. Haivadana, it's a modernist play and a reworking of folk. Harvest is a futuristic dystopia. The next one, Khashiram Kotwal, it's political satire, and Evam Indrajit, it's part of absurd drama. Now let's have a quick look into these works. Haivadana, it's by Girish Karnad, performed first in 1971. And this is another important point. It's inspired by Thomas Mann's novel The Transposed Heads and Kada Sarida Sagara. This work, it explores identity and incompleteness through a head-body swap. It's famous of Devadatta and Kapila, and Padmini gets a dilemma to choose whom, the head or the body. And it's also about a man with a horse head seeking completeness. Then we have Harvest by Manjula Padmanabhan, famous year 1997. Yes, I've mentioned in one of the previous slides, you can check back. So it's a dystopian drama. It's about the exploitation of the poor in a future India where a Western corporation harvests organs. That's why it's the title Harvest. So it's harvesting organs from desperate individuals. The protagonist is Om Prakash. And I guess we do have a lot of Om Prakash coming in the name. Next is Kashiram Kotwal. It's by Vijay Tendulkar, performed in 1972. First performed in 1972. And of course, I know you're all studious and do know the fact that Vijay Tendulkar is not Sachin Tendulkar's father. I know you know that. Okay, let's continue. This work, it's a famous Marathi play with the blending of folk theatre, dance, music, you know. And this play, it's a satire. It's about satire about power, corruption, and betrayal, where the character Kashiram, he's a Brahmin. He rises to become the ruthless Kotwal, a police chief of Pune, only to be destroyed by the same system. Then we have Evam Indrajit. It's a famous work by the one and only Badal Sarkar, performed first in 1970. It's an absurdist play. It's about a man that, from the title, named Indrajit. He's trapped in a meaningless existence, struggling with alienation. It's set against a backdrop of social and existential despair. Finally, about my channel. I have just started this channel. Even if you don't subscribe, it's okay. But please do comment your suggestions so that we can make this space better. Happy learning, folks. Bye.